Combustion.
Whoa, 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 whoa. They're running the game with my team making plays. Talking 80, my G's, wanting jewels in this place. Surrounded by dogs, keep the quarterback safe. I'm the one with the plans, they gon' do what I say. The game is not over, we don't celebrate in the end zone. We don't got no time in the wait. Ain't trying run down, we don't premeditate. We just go and get to it, we got them on skates. If the game going to overtime, kicking the overdrive, we gon' be first at the finish line. Play looking full, but I finish mine. Can I get second? We gon' line up like it's dinner time. We put in work till we get us a ring. Super Bowl season, we running the scene. Ain't trying to home of the realest that breathe. Keep your face down when you talk to the king.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the H-Time Rundown. This is your boy AD, and I got my co-host in the building. We got Clayton, got Jules. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Wednesday evening?
Doing well.
Yep, blessed. Cannot complain.
Man, at this moment, we just got to take a moment of silence. You know, we got to pull one out for the homies. I got some water right here. Got to pull some out for the homies.
Some water.
I'm pull the water. I'm gonna do it on camera. No, I don't want to spill man. Man, look, the Texans got some bad news today. By losing one of their starting receivers in Jaden Higgins to an ACL, which he sustained in joint practice on Tuesday. Many of the reports coming out, shout out Aaron Wilson for the false report saying it wasn't bad injury. Didn't look like he was going to be in bad shape. He was going to be okay. Thank you, Aaron Wilson, for the bad report. And just letting us down. Just giving us false hope.
Can't do it, huh? Just can't do it.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Nope.
You can't do it.
You gotta call it out. We all about the truth, man. Aaron Wilson sold us a bucket of nothing. And we just got our hopes up and for a good season. And again, like Brandon said in the comments, it's the curse of the football gods. You know, we can't have nothing nice. But I want to hear y'all thoughts about the loss of Jaden Higgins, and then we'll talk about a whole bunch of everything else.
Go ahead, Clay. You got this one.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I've been sitting on this. I call Jules, I call this man at work, bothering this man, wasting his minutes. I feel like, man,
minutes. Whoa,
bro. Oh yeah, they see these young kids don't know about minutes, but anyway, I know about that. But nah, man, like in the world of sports, bro, there's just certain franchises that, like you said, can't have nothing nice. Cleveland, New York, specifically the Jets. Maybe the Blazers, I think, the whole Brandon Roy, his career and whatnot. And I think the city of Houston, you got to put them up there, man. When it comes down to chronic injury, when it comes down to chronic injuries at the worst of times, gentlemen, I just feel like it's something about Houston, man. It's something in the water. I don't know. Something in the Tex-Mex. I don't know. Like Matt Schaub in 2011, 2012. Will Fuller couldn't get right. Now you got Jade Higgins, you got Joe Mixon, you got Tank Dell, you got all these guys, man. Like, and the season hasn't even got here yet. I just think for me, we're going to talk more about the actual schematic changes they're going to have to make, because they're going to have to. Yeah. But for me, from just like a gut punch, like just a morale thing, like it sucks that they just haven't been able to do anything on the offensive side of the ball for 3 years straight, right? Like they haven't. Literally on a rotation. So yet again, we're doing the same thing. Who, what ifs. Jaden Higgins is out, and it's the guy who arguably was having like the best offseason / camp, right? So it sucks. I hate it for him. I was trying to hold out some kind of hope because I didn't hear the words like non-contact injury, right? Like I knew that, there was a collision or something like that happened. I knew his helmet came off, but CJ said, hey, he might be good, and D'Amico, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man, like you're talking about taking the wind out of yourselves. This did it. This did it right here. So
yeah, I mean, It was definitely a blow because we had high hopes and we wanted to see him turn the corner, and the way he was performing in camp and the reports, everything that he took the options very seriously, and he was taking that next step up to being what we drafted him to be, a guaranteed second round pick with guaranteed money. That you was hoping to see that next jump that can um, help the passing game and help the running game by having more threats upfield vertically that allows your running game to kind of have less people in the box accord also with your tight ends and everything else in the passing game. As much as we want to be a run stop team, your passing game has to be efficient to have less people in the box. So he
Mhm.
was that one key that's going to help out, the major key to help out Nico Collins, everybody else, to get these corners and these safeties and these linebackers to back up a little bit so you couldn't run the ball a little bit. So you didn't have to put a jumbo package because they wasn't scared of your run game. So they'll put nine in the box because they didn't pass you. They weren't scared of the passing game. Your run game was halfway decent. So with the blow of this is giving us the season's over. The offense won't do nothing bad. I think they can do it, and like I told Clayton earlier, can we depend on the OC scheming the offense better past what it is now because you had a high talented receiver on your second side willing to make that next jump or trying to make the next jump to be a high talent situation that gives your offense better. So now we gotta see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna trade, sign somebody off the streets, or everybody just move up? The ones that everybody thought gonna get cut, nah, they won't get cut because now it's numbers. Now it's not numbers by committee. So now you gotta see what they're gonna do in this the next couple days, next couple weeks. We'll figure out what they're gonna do.
Yeah. But you got to be positive. You got to be positive. You got to look at it. Guys like Lewis Bond, who with a healthy Jaden Higgins probably wouldn't see as much time as he possibly could have this year. I'm more excited now. We get to see more Lewis Bond. Jalen Noel, this is your time to step up and shine.
You ain't got no choice now. Yep.
I think Clint Sterner prayed for this moment. I mean, you laughing, but Clint Sterner has been a certified Jaden Higgins hater. He has said multiple times that Jalen Noel is the legit number 2 wide receiver for the Houston Texans, and he believes more in Jalen Noel's ability than anything Jaden Higgins can do.
Right.
He was disappointed when Jalen Noel went down with a hamstring injury, and he sounded defeated on the radio and kind of gave up and said that Higgins was going to be the wide receiver 2 by default because Jalen Noel got a hamstring injury, and had a finger injury earlier. So, shout out to, the Clint Sterners of the world, the Killer Cows of the world that wanted Tank Dell to be automatic wide receiver 2 and hasn't taken a snap yet. Shout out to all those people that prayed I don't want to say they prayed on Higgins' downfall, but they didn't believe in Higgins. And all of a sudden now they're depressed that Higgins is hurt, which is crazy. But you got to stay positive, and you got to give guys like a Xavier Hutchinson a chance. Xavier Hutchinson has steadily gone and improved his game each and every year. And I think this year is just another opportunity for him to continue that growth and for him to continue to show that he is becoming a better wide receiver overall. Am I expecting him to produce crazy numbers? No. But do I think he can give you a 500-yard season? Yeah. I think Hutchinson can give you that. Can Tank Dell give you 500 yards? Hopefully. Can Tank Dell see the field is the question. So these are the things that we got to look at, and you got to stay positive. So look at the guys that's on the roster. Unfortunately, for Nick Killer is going to make the roster. He already had a chance to make the roster, but Nick Killer is almost a guarantee to make the roster now.
I'd say,
Jared Wayne.
Respect on that man's name.
Nick Killer. It's so
Wayne.
crazy that we keep losing wide receivers to knee injuries when Jared Wayne.
Jared
I mean, every year. I mean, it never
Inevitable.
fails.
He's inevitable.
Inevitable. So,
Can I just say something real quick? I'm sorry. You talking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, Finn, go ahead.
Man, look, bro. I just like I said, man, this is where for a bunch of other reasons you see people who actually know football or trying to be genuine in the conversation separate from those who just want to clickbait, engagement farm, or who just have biases, right, that they hide in the midst of their analysis, right? We know the defense is elite. We know that they added pieces. And look, I was nervous. I said I don't want the defense to get hurt, right? I said that. But this is where, for us to make proper critiques of this team, we cannot continue to ignore the very real reality that within this new era of Texas football from 2023 to now, they have not been able to put together a consistently functional, competent offense for any reason at all. I'm just putting it out there because I know we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but like again, I know CJ Stroud's going to come up. People are going to connect it back to him and all this stuff, but like when you can't keep a roster healthy on one side of the ball when you have chronically poor tackle, just a bunch of stuff, man. It's a lot we're going to say, but it's a kick in the shins, man. It is, bro. My attitude was not the season's over. It's just like, come on, man. Like, dang, bro.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on that, and we can be positive, but we also got to have living reality. We all know that Nico Collins ain't gonna stay the whole season.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, and you show.
As long as he's available for the playoffs, though.
Well, he wasn't playing for New England, so that's cool.
That's one game in 3 years.
But it don't. He missed a game a couple weeks ago, like a couple years ago. Anyway,
Not in the
we
playoffs.
but hold on. But like I was saying, I know y'all want to keep positive and want, but also gotta be a realistic situation. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense situation team. We don't when they want to add defensive stars, everybody go. But when we want to add offense stars or replace stars, we're like, well, we can move. We got this player. Why not try and trade for a vulnerable star or a number 2 or somewhere to boost the offense? Why not have that same mentality when it comes to the offense? It's always, the defense, we can be greedy on defense. Why not even be comfortable, as Aaron Clayton says, and make a move to get another number 2? Because you don't know what you really got. Hudson is he gonna be the next step? You don't know what Noel gonna do the next step. We don't know Tank Dell's gonna come back healthy or not, because he hasn't put one foot against another team or even his own previous team 7-7 this whole offseason. We don't know. And all thing we do know is Nico Collins is gonna miss 4 games. That's what you have. That's reality. I get being Lewis Bond, a rookie, undrafted rookie. I get that. That's cool. But offense, that this team needs the offense to be a functional offense. I ain't saying top 10. I'm not saying top 2. I'm saying at least 15. And you need to have weapons who have talent, because we're unsure about the offensive system under a second year Nick Haley. And now this can be all gander, and this can be, I can be all wrong. But at this point, there's more questions than there's hope to be optimistic.
Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll say this. I'm sorry, Eddie, you gonna say something?
I got it. Catch up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Jules, to that point, I agree, and I made a video about this some time ago on TikTok. I said that a part of the reason why we probably haven't seen movement as aggressively on the offense is simply because the defense, the young nucleus that you have with Will Daniil, well, not Daniil, but Will, Sting, Kamari, all those guys, they gave you answers to who they could be, immediately. The offense has still yet to do that. And it's not an excuse for them to not do anything, but the offense has not given you the answers for you to declare yay or nay, on their careers or projections or who to bring in to compensate. Like, for example, when we got Joe Mixon, you were able to do that because you knew that Damian Pierce is not the guy. So you knew to go get a guy, right? Now, again, it was the Nick Caserio special because it's not like he paid a premium. He flipped a 7th rounder to go get him, right? So that's the other thing too. Like, it's not just that the offense still is yet to give you answers that you need. It's that we know who Nick Caserio is. Like, he's not going to try to put the team in a financial bind. Like, he's going to try to find his deal. That's,
Yeah,
David Montgomery's.
but Clayton on the cutoff, but I'm not even blaming Nick Caserio. I'm not blaming anybody because he's tried. He's gotten Tank Dell. I mean, he's
Oh,
gotten
no. Oh, no. I'm
a
not blaming.
Diggs.
Oh,
He's
no. I'm
got a
not.
Joe Mixon that got hurt. He's got a Christian Kirk to be number 2. He's
Yeah.
tried, and at this point, I don't want to see. Oh, let's to see what will happen. I think they should make a move at receiver. I think that if there's a receiver that's going to be cut or is unhappy with the contract and as a free agent next year, I don't like them to go try. If they can't
Sure.
move, that's full. But at least make an attempt to it. That's how I see it. I don't want to go in the season with 1 and 2 possibles.
Or at least.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
think they're going to make a move.
Right.
I think they're going to do something. They're not just going to sit on their hands with it. I'm just saying. I'm looking at me personally. I'm looking at the possibilities for the guys that's already on the roster. This gives them an opportunity that they probably weren't going to have.
They weren't.
And then when it comes to one said, I don't give a damn if Nico missed 2 games during the regular season. If he show up and play all playoff games like he has, again, Nick, yeah, I agree. Nico Collins has only missed in 6 playoff games. Nico Collins has only missed 1. He's been available. He's been the only one available, unfortunately, consistently, when it comes to the playoffs. But when you make a move like that, because I had a discussion on the spaces earlier, like when you say you need to go get a bona fide star, you got to weigh the cost of that, because what team is going to give up a star wide receiver or a guy who can, give you that number 2 production or possibly number 1 if number 1 is out?
Right.
You know what I mean? What is that going to cost you? That's going to cost you at least a first round pick. Are you willing to give up a first round pick?
Maybe a second or a third.
Are you even willing to give up that?
Yeah, but hold on. So here's Dev Advocate. You can't say, and we can't say this is Super Bowl bust all year round, and then talking about when it's time to actually put your money where your mouth is, we don't want to give them a second round pick or third round pick. You can't have it both ways. You can't say this is the year, and we gotta put our best foot forward. Yeah, if it costs a second round pick, if we gonna win Super Bowl, that's a late third round pick.
So the way this team is constructed, this team is not just constructed for just this year. This team is constructed for multiple years.
But if the offense can't do nothing, you're not gonna win it.
Right, but what I'm saying is that, okay, you give up a premium pick, right?
And
then 9 times out of 10, somebody just hit a home run.
No.
Oh,
a late second round pick. You would
Pickens is gonna want. You're gonna have to give Dallas a first.
Yeah, you would
at least a first. And
you
more.
wouldn't give up your late second round pick, who probably be the 66 pick or 70 pick, whatever the last couple rounds, last picks in the second round for a bona fide veteran who can play. You tell me you won't do that?
Can you imagine though, George Pickens? I know we're not gonna do it, but can you imagine George?
I'm not even taking that conversation because he wants to deal.
But that's my point. But that's my point is that.
But I'm not asking for a superstar star. I'm not asking for George Pickens.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Okay, let's say you're looking for a guy who's looking for a deal, who's looking to get a new deal, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay. Like, okay, let's say for a prime example, let's say you get a guy, whoever it may be, and they're trying to get a new deal come next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you get a guy like you're saying, Jules, and you spend that high quality capital, and now you give up a second round pick. And let's say you make to the AFC Championship game, but you strike out and you don't get to the Super Bowl. Or let's say you get to the Super Bowl, you lose, and you think you about to run it back, but now the wide receiver that helped you get there is no longer there.
So you can't draft. So you can't draft the first round pick. You can't draft a student first round pick. Why are you limiting yourself by saying that you can't?
My whole philosophy is I don't want to kind of waste. I don't want to waste a pick.
But you waste the opportunity for this team to win Super Bowl because you want to waste a pick. Y'all can't say F them picks for 3-4 years and now it's time to do it.
But that's because I have more faith than you do or others in what we have on the roster.
But you all off season, what you was always saying, this season now. We gotta win this year. You
I
wasn't
feel
talking
like we
about,
can win.
but you wasn't talking about this all off season. Talking about, oh,
I don't.
we
I'm
gotta
not
play.
saying, but Higgins wasn't a deciding factor of us
He
winning for
should, but
me.
he was game to be. The offensive system was built for Nick Taylor to get better. Your second round pick, which you pay guaranteed money for to make that second jump, so it can alleviate some power, some things off Nick Cole. And when he does take off, that you have a bona fide number two Robin to go with him. That's basically how offense was. You can't say it now because that's what the whole thing was. You're not paying Higgins guaranteed money if he wasn't gonna be a impactful player on this offense of his
I
offense system.
understand that. I understand that, but I'm saying I'm looking at it like they're going to differentiate the offense, and they're going to use other players
One,
to
one, and
kind of
two,
spread the ball around.
one and two possibles.
I mean, at the
It's
end of the day,
possibilities.
they're going to make a move for a player. Clayton wrote an article earlier talking about it, and we talked about it most of the day. The player I'm looking at that's like ideal is a Keyshawn Butte or Booty, and he's a guy that that's his name. Like,
Butte
here we go. Clayton went back to 6th grade, guys.
and Butte.
Oh, I know you're not talking.
No,
I
it's
know
no,
you
it's
not.
Booty. His name is Keyshawn Booty.
Butte.
Listen, say
That's
this.
how from Asheville, Louisiana people, it's Keyshawn Booty.
Butte.
It's Booty, man.
It's not Butte. It's Butte.
It's Booty.
It's Butte.
No, you want to say Butte. It's
I
Booty.
know people with the same last name as Butte.
No,
Oh.
he pronounces his name Booty.
Bro, it's American English. You know, it could be all things. The people
Oh,
I know
God.
with this
Okay,
same
so
last
when I
name
go and pull the
is
clip of
Butte.
how he pronounces his
But
name,
why?
when
But
they
why?
do, hold on.
But why?
When he pronounces his name Booty, is he wrong?
Hey, if he is, I'm surprised because everybody I
So
know
you
with
hold
that
on,
last name.
little Jules. I want you to tell Keyshawn Booty to his face that he
I
pronounced his last
I
name
would
wrong.
because the people I've known with the same last name says Butte.
So Jules, if somebody tell you your last name ain't Jefferson, it's Jeff.
That's a whole different
Son.
conversation,
Okay.
sir. There you go again.
Okay.
We always trying to mix things up to make
And that's
conversations.
exactly why you don't need to come here. Exactly why. You need to stay right where you at. Stay right where you at.
It's like,
So,
look,
come on.
Devon Achane is, if we said his name wrong forever and a day, we've been calling him Achane forever and a day, and his name is Achane.
Yeah, actually, ETN, I think.
Yeah.
ATN. So
Etienne.
it all depends. All depends on what your
We've been
mama
saying
call you.
Etienne.
It all
Right.
depends what your mama call you. Because
Okay, and his mama call him Booty.
she probably can't spell or pronounce it, and she wants to be
His
something different.
mama call him Booty.
You know, we know
His
in the
mama
black
call
culture.
him Booty. I'ma call him Booty.
You know, in the black culture, we make up words and make up names all day. Don't mean it's right.
Okay, but don't argue me down and tell me I'm wrong when I'm giving
I
the right
didn't say that.
pronunciation.
I say
Look,
his name.
instead of debating this man's last name, the fact that how we're gonna phrase him, ideally from the stats to like production wise, he actually would be the best facsimile for Jaden Higgins. All jokes aside, like he would like 600 yards, about the same amount of touchdowns. It's about right. And you
He's a
could
bigger receiver too.
Exactly. And the Pats drafted him with a 6th rounder. So you could flip
Fifth
fourth
at the
or
most.
fifth? Fourth or fifth?
A fifth at the most.
Right. So they could flip him a 5th. He's already halfway out of the door anywhere. So you can go get him, put him in this offense, and he knows his role, right? Like he was an ascending guy last year. So I think if they got him, then okay, we're at least status quo. Like I would call that as fair as we can get.
Yeah. And so
yeah.
And like I said, I think, I gotta take this with a grain of salt because Aaron Wilson, again, he's gonna be familiar with the offense.
Real quick, Eddie. The reason why I said the 4 also is because it's the Pats, they're in the AFC and they're direct competition, so you might have to pay like a little bit extra just to sweeten that deal for them.
But right now he's really wide receiver 4 on their roster.
And that's cool.
You know what I mean? So like they really don't have they gonna have him playing special teams in all honesty. So it's like you flipping a special teams player for a 5th round pick, you winning. Now if it comes to bite them in the butt later on in the year in the playoffs, then they may have to hesitate on it. But I think Nick Caserio has a good relationship with the Pats organization, and I think he can make something work. But here we go.
All right, my thing is
But
the big three was him, Judy, and the outlandish one would have been in Jordan Addison. The Vikings not going to trade him, but a lot of people I saw were saying, hey, if the Vikings would give you any kind of deal for him, like a second or a third, you jump on that. I think that's when, to Jules' point, like, because he was a first rounder, and when he doesn't have 9 throwing him the ball, like, he can actually play. So, if they say, hey,
got one throwing him the ball this year, and why they can't trade him?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
then the outlandish one would be Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
What about Michael Wilson?
Michael Wilson a better player right now for the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, no, they're keeping him. They're not giving you him.
I like him.
They'd rather almost trade you Marvin Harrison Jr.
Probably.
My thing is, okay, but you give up a second round pick for Marvin Harrison.
I'll give him a
even
third.
though that's not realistic, but you give up a third.
I give him a third. And I'll just bank on him and CJ. Because Marvin Harrison Jr., there's a reason why we're even having this conversation. Like, something is off with MHJ. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I have no idea. But maybe
he's playing for a terrible team,
which is also true.
And he doesn't want to be Calvin Johnson.
Right. So again though, so flip him a third and maybe reconnect him with CJ Stroud. They lean on each other, and well, not reconnect, but fellow alumni. So yeah, man.
My thing is, what happens? Okay, you give him a third or a second for Marvin Harrison, and then Marvin Harrison does the same thing he's been doing in Arizona, dropping balls, disappearing.
Dang, AD Mitchell. The Jets not gonna give up AD Mitchell. They just got him. I don't know.
So Killer Cal, when we say a bigger wide receiver, we're talking about a bigger wide receiver in the sense that other options that are available, like Clayton said, Jordan Addison, smaller than Kayshon Boutte. Doggone freaking Brandon Cooks, who's a free agent, smaller than Kayshon Boutte. That's when we're talking about a bigger receiver, first of all, bigger than really what you have on the roster. Outside, yes, Hutchinson is the next biggest wide receiver, but then you look at Bond, who's a smaller wide receiver. You look at Tank, who's a tiny wide receiver. You go down the list. Even Noel is a small wide receiver. So, yes, Boutte is a bigger wide receiver. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Kayshon Boutte.
I just want somebody who can get open in the separation. He can be 5'4". He can be 6 foot.
Again, we need teams with quality players willing to part with them. Also, that's Correct. The other thing. The timing is terrible. It's never okay to have a torn ACL, but literally, the day before this happened, you see the Colts snatch up Keenan Allen, right? Imagine if he was still out there for another week or two, right? I would say go get Keenan Allen, right? He would be the kind of guy you can plug him in right now. Look, all I need is a chain mover, be smart, find the holes in the zone, do that kind of thing.
Hutchinson can do that.
The coach signed him when they heard that Hutchinson was out. They've been having a deal for a long time.
No, they did that late 11 o'clock.
So
they actually signed him a day before he even got hurt.
I thought it was something yesterday.
They signed him during the day.
Yeah,
that was before the injury.
Well, the announcement came out at 11 p.m. So maybe he's already signed and they just announced it. But
I bet he was already in Indianapolis.
I bet they switched that deal for when they heard Higgins got hurt. Okay, I give you what you want.
He was already in Indianapolis to sign the papers.
And to the pin count. They asked for money to him.
Again, I don't know why. Again, I know it's a name, but Keenan Allen hasn't been a super productive, viable wide receiving option for 3 years. I understand he's a name because he was, he's with the Chargers for so long and he did amazing things with the Chargers back then. But I'm not saying
he was an option. I just said I bet it made them sign him faster to make sure he ain't going nowhere else.
But the Colts didn't have nothing regardless. The Colts, if the Colts want to fight over Keenan Allen, that shows you how terrible their wide receiving core is. You
And
want to
Oh, yeah,
talk
they're
about
I'm
that?
not,
destitute.
I'm not,
The
I'm not, I'm
AFC
not,
South.
They're
The
I'm not
destitute.
AFC
arguing that
South
point though.
is
I'm not
terrible.
arguing that point. I'm not
But I'm
arguing
just
for
saying
it.
right now,
They trash. But I
this
said,
division,
I bet you it sounded a little faster for him though. Oh, make
but
sure
this
you know
division itself
it's trash.
has trash wide receiving cores. Tennessee, outside of Cornell Tate, trash.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, BTJ. I mean, and then you got Parker Washington. He's okay. He's a decent receiver. Other than those two, trash. Like,
Right.
like just what
What do you
else is
think
there?
about what do you think about Cedric Tillman out of Cleveland? I'm getting a lot
No,
a lot of people.
he
He
don't.
don't
He
block.
really doesn't move the needle. They're not
He
going
don't
to move
block.
off of Tillman. They're going to move off of Judy before they move off of Tillman.
But he don't
Mhm.
block either. Tell me don't block.
Oh yeah, that's
So
the blocking system.
it ain't even about that. It's just you gonna get Butterfingers Judy before Judy will get open, but Judy ain't gonna catch the ball. So I'm okay.
I just know
So
I know Timmy doesn't block, so he's not gonna be a good option here.
Mhm.
I mean, they coach up, and if you're
So
gonna play for D'Amico, he gonna make you block.
so real quick, Dream Team Apple says this. He'd want Marvin Harrison. He'd give them picks from 27 and 28.
Nah.
He sounds
That's
like Jules. He said, "My focus is winning Super Bowl this season, not too worried about the future capital when the team is all in it to win right
So
now." So
I gotta ask the question.
I'm not with him on that though. For the right player, maybe, but
he
not
said,
for
"I'm
my,
not with him."
not on that player.
So I gotta ask the question because Larry Payton is like, "F them picks, give me Marvin Harrison Jr. for a first." I gotta ask this question.
First, heck no.
Yeah, right. I gotta ask this question. I mean, they believe in Marvin Harrison Jr., but like, are you believing in what Marvin Harrison Jr. could potentially be, or what has he shown on the field currently? But
That's the question.
I'm gonna say this, like, dude, I just because again, what if Jaden Higgins is that guy, right? What if he was coming in to be he was gonna be 1,000-yard receiver this year, right? Like, I don't know. Marvin
But okay,
Harrison.
so the question is, you talking about you bringing Higgins right now does not do anything for us this year.
I mean,
So
yeah, but
what is that?
I'm always a forward thinker like Nick Cassera. He doesn't think about the current year. He thinks about 2 years after there. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? So
he need to start thinking about this year because this is a prime for him to do because of the moves he's made, because of the money he spent on the O line, because of the deals he's given out to the different stars, the 2 year window they got, because these deals he's getting, the Stingley deals, the Toro
this is the
Cole
main
deals,
part though.
all these situations that all the money he's put in for this short little time, he needs to start thinking about this small window because the long term will get him fired if he don't actually win something now.
So again, I'm not opposed. I don't think that the Texans, because the way the argument I feel like is shifting is that the Texans are not going to make a move. I'm 100% of the belief that the Texans are going to make a move. Like, I have no doubt about it that the Texans are going to make a move. Do they make a move for a specific player that people want? We
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
who knows?
Nobody knows. But again, I just don't feel like they're going to go and say, you know what? We're so freaking desperate right now. We're going to show our desperation and we're just going to give up multiple picks, or we're going to give up a high value pick for a player that we're eventually not going to pay.
I will say this though, to Jules's point, one thing that you don't want to do, like I'm fine with rolling the dice going into the season, right? Like seeing what you got, X step up, Bond, Wayne, Tank. Look, Tank is the ultimate X factor here. If he messes around and is any version of what he was at one point, like again, we're at least status quo, like if not better in certain capacities. So you have to give this receiving room the space to at least roll the dice for like a quarter of the season. Say, all right, what you got? The problem with that is, if you remember, like Dallas, right? Like years ago when they got Amari Cooper, they did the same thing, but you saw that offense sputter. Like very clearly, you saw like, like they can't move the ball. This Dak looked bad, the offense looked bad. So that kind of drove up the price on them because the league saw like, oh yeah, you need a guy, right? And if I know that you need a guy, like I'm not gonna make it easy for you. So at that point, it's like you don't want to lose games because of this thing, and you don't want the price that you could have paid cheaper on earlier to get more expensive because you rolled that dice. So it's kind of a double-edged sword kind of thing. Like,
Well, I mean, right
One,
now,
Texan. That's not right. That's not right, Texan. That's not right.
that's one. That's yeah. He said this is still the deepest water. Yeah,
No, it's not. It's not.
I mean, look at it. Look at it. I mean, it has some truth to it. It has.
No,
of the last 3
it's the
years.
same thing you said. You talking about possibility. It's the possibility of I bond. It's a possibility to take the next step. It's a possibility want Noah to the next step. It's a possibility that Tank Dell. It's a lot of possibilities. It's not the deepest run we ever had because if that year they had Diggs, they had Tank Dell on come on the second year. So you had 3 ahead of roster. It's not the truth.
I don't know if he means like ever. He might mean
But
of the last 3 years.
I think that's what he's no, but that's what he said.
This still
Outside
the deepest wide receiver room we had, in my opinion. Afterward, that is not the truth.
Mm.
I mean,
look, to Drew's point,
I'm
yeah,
assuming
they're
he's
not
talking
proven.
about. I think he's maybe outside of that year.
Outside Nico, he's saying it's the deepest. It's word for word. This is still the
He
deepest.
said you had a year 2 Tank who wasn't a for sure thing who came off an injury. He said the only players you knew for sure was Nico and Diggs.
And you don't know what you got now.
Well, Tank
You got
also
all you
is only
guys,
coming
Nico.
off Tank also is only coming off a fractured fibula and not a ruptured leg.
I mean, yeah, but still, Tank. That part was people was assuming he was injury prone. Shout out LD. But to the point, like
LD.
Like Larry was saying, I've always been a proponent of like if you make a Marvin Harrison Jr. trade, then Nico is
all caps
pretty much out the door. You about to trade Nico in the offseason. So whatever you trade Marvin Harrison for, you're gonna get those picks back for Nico Collins. But then that's under the assumption that you're gonna get a productive Marvin Harrison Jr. And I know we're talking about Marvin Harrison, but I think that's just the highlight that everybody been asking for.
That's too
for
much.
the longest.
That's the name's too high.
I mean, but you're supposed to be winning the Super Bowl.
Don't do that.
You're trying to win the Super Bowl. It don't matter.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Now you being an ass. Don't do that.
So speaking
you know exactly my point is. Don't do that.
So speaking of those scenarios, another player who I think is far-fetched, I don't think they're going to do this because they just re-signed their big name running back, so it wouldn't make sense. Garrett Wilson with the Jets. That's way out there, but that if we're talking about like, okay, if Nico's not here and like he's a part of the deal transitioning out, I mean, you got G Will out there.
Right? We just at this
like I said,
we've gotten to the point now we just gonna start naming names.
Let me reel in what my original point was. I'm not going for a disgruntled superstar. I'm not going for somebody who's worth a first round pick. I just want a proven veteran that can be impactful day one on this offense for this team to go. That will allow Hutchinson to keep developing. It can allow Tank Dell to they're gonna handle with kid gloves. They can see what Noah has of his hamstring. We know in Houston, people who have those hamstring issues, who have speed or agility or quickness, and them hamstrings never get quite right around Houston. They continue to have long-term issues with hamstrings in Houston with those type of players. What I'm asking for is a proven veteran who can just come out here and get open and have separation to allow the offense to be functional.
So do you have some names?
I don't. It's not. Hey, there's a bunch of names, but I have to go to the roster. I haven't done it yet because it just happened today.
I really think Kayshawn will be the perfect one then because again, the value pick is there.
I don't mind Kayshawn.
Yeah, value pick is there. Most importantly, he knows your system at 5'11", knows your system. He just played your defense. Like he would fit right in. Cost is good. Don't have to pay him quickly. And I think he'd still allow, like you just said, your other receivers to grow because he's not coming in and taking over wide receiver 1 duties, like barely wide receiver 2, but still competent enough to just be in that position. So I would feel the best about that.
Right.
I'd roll if they
Because
got Kayshawn, I'd roll.
I guess this is
So
my thing. This is my thing. I'm be quiet. I don't want them to go get a wide receiver 6 and everybody move up and say whatever you go. That's my biggest worry.
if
That
they
you
get a
put
bottom of a roster guy,
you get bottom rush guy. Oh, we signed somebody because Higgins is not just somebody that was on the team. It's not if Hutch got hurt or Wade got hurt. You're like, okay, just go sign somebody. This was supposed to be your number 2 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fringe,
you got
heck, Fringe wide receiver one.
right. So you have to replace the talent level. Now of course you're not gonna get the same talent level on what you get, but you have to replace some type of the talent level around him to make this offense go forward. That's my conversation.
hey
All the
man,
other things,
you know what's funny? And this is such a Texan move. No, Ruben, absolutely not. No.
hey,
Ruben, what's up, bro?
he'll be a backup. He'll be a depth player.
Look,
His hands still work. He
look,
probably can't run as fast, but his hands still work.
I'm gonna say this, man. Like I said, you're not going. Like the cost to find a guy to be a wide receiver two would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But like to come in and be a, I mean, we talked about it. That's what we said earlier. One is gonna be a wide receiver by committee.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
For the last
but
4
the
years.
the most Texan thing that I can honestly see is a guy that's on the Carolina Panthers right now that is very familiar with the Houston Texans coming back to Houston, either via trade or he gets cut and they bring him in. Tell me, if y'all watch football, y'all know who I'm talking about. Come on, Jules. Come on, Clayton. He played in the first game of the season of the preseason against the Arizona Cardinals.
I didn't watch that game.
Hmm.
He
Oh,
beat
man.
cancer, man. He beat cancer.
Oh no, mm-mm. No, no, nope, mm-mm. Nope, nope, nope.
Jules,
Because
do
you
you know
already
what I'm
got
talking
bro,
about?
bro, you got Mechie at home. His name is Louis Bond. You got
Oh,
Mechie at home. No, no, man. Mm-mm.
so
You
long.
talking about not moving the needle? No,
Let me answer
no
the
disrespect.
question though. Let
No,
me answer
I'm
the
just
question
saying
why.
that would be the most Texan thing ever is them bringing back
Yeah,
Mitchell.
because he's
Let
familiar.
me answer one
No.
right quick. Do I believe that CJ can elevate? I believe it can if you prove the office system works. At this point, we don't know if Austin's has gotten better. Everybody says a quarterback makes things better. Tom Brady system was what made that system work. It's precise. It's timing. It's having Josh McDaniels. It's having bona fide offensive coordinators who knew the system and walked in the system. Say, hey, you was a quarterback coach, or this. This is a system that Josh McDaniels developed before he left. Charlie Weiss developed before he left. These are bona fide offensive coordinators who can adjust their scheme as the defenses and as the team goes on. But Nick Caley has not proven he can do that yet. And that's why we didn't want another rookie or first year or second year guy who hasn't had the ability to change his offense scheme as the team go on. That did he get better as the season go on? Yes. We do not know how the offense will look next year. This coming season.
Yeah.
So the question is the answer is I believe CJ has a talent. I just believe that CJ has not had an offensive coordinator to teach him the NFL game, as the rest of these great quarterbacks, and I've made this statement before many times, there's not many quarterbacks who won multiple Super Bowls under rookie or unproven offense coordinators. The Joe Montana, Bill Walsh, the Tom Brady's had multiple Josh McDaniels and Charlie Weisses, Chuck Noll for Terry Bradshaw. Peyton Manning is a class by itself, but he had more to teach him how to be a better offensive player when he got there. You have hamstring this young man by not giving him an offensive minded person that can elevate his natural talent and see the game he needs to see, because you got guys learning on the fucking job. I'm no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop because y'all about to piss me off. So I'm gonna
So
Mhm.
I mean, I understand the point of like, yes, nobody has confidence in Kaylee because again, you haven't seen it. But I will say I'm confident in Kaylee in the fact that I've seen the offense grow over the year. Going out there watching them live, you see some different concepts that they haven't seen before. Blocking style has changed to fit. You brought in players
Correct.
to kind of fit, especially on the offensive line, to fit what he wants to do running the football.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been highlighted,
Yeah.
over the, it's been highlighted over the off season and commented by multiple reports of how the scheme has changed and how they're doing more. They were more kind of zone based still. Trying to because they had those type of players with Titus Howard, who that's the scheme that they came into and came
Mm-hmm.
from. And then you go into this scheme now where you see a lot of more pulling, you see a lot more dual blocks, you see a lot more different aspects in the run game when it comes to the offensive line. You're going to see a lot more 2 to 3 tight end sets, more than you've had before. It sounds like Brother Jefferson doesn't trust in this New England offense.
No, no,
It's
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
it's not that. It's
I
specifically
like the
Kaylee.
fact they got the quarterback coach. I was talking about getting rid of Jared for a minute. I like the fact they got the offensive coordinator because the quarterback coach because he's seen it, and he's coached it, and he understands it.
Mhm.
So in that aspect I do. But as far as the whole situation, right now it's once
It's
again
just
it's
everything is unproven because
unproven.
everybody's so new. Everybody's
That's
so
right.
new
So that's
and
why
young. So
I can't give you I'm hopeful. I have the best. I still think we're going to Super Bowl. But I would like to have them replace the Higgins with a talented receiver.
there is a talented receiver that probably won't cost you much of anything. He's been really showing up. He's in Chicago. Um,
Um,
and this is just me giving my bias. He went to the great school that's in College Station,
Okay. I'm about to go
Texas
to bed. I'm about to go to
A&M.
bed.
No, but I need you to just hear me out. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Jade Walker is a guy who won't cost you much of anything. He is, he was an undrafted rookie. He fits the bill. He's 6'3", 206 pounds.
mm.
He's going to be cheap. Probably a conditional 6 or 7 round pick because he's a reserve for Chicago. But because he's playing behind freaking who is it? He's playing behind Luther Burton and freaking Roma Dunze and Khalif Raymond and all, those guys that are in that room. He'll be a guy that you can bring in on the cheap that kind of can replace the young, he's young, he's only 23 years old. He fits the bill size-wise, has the talent, skill set similar to Higgins. I'm just saying that is a cheap option because I'm while y'all been talking, I've been looking through different depth charts. So I'm just picking out guys who could potentially, get, and I'm
So
looking at in the Texan eyes of what they would possibly do.
so he goes to my point that he will be a wide receiver 4 or 5. He wouldn't be
Yeah.
the 2 or 3. Okay, that then
Oh yeah, but I'm saying, but the
that'll
whole
move
point
needle
is
for me.
you're not going to find a wide receiver 2. You're not. That's the realistic part of it is that you're not going to get a wide receiver 2.
You could,
Nobody's giving up a wide receiver 2.
like I
Name me a
said,
team that's
no
giving up their
teams.
wide receiver 2.
Like I said, I want a guy who can be a 3 and maybe a 2 here. I'm not looking for a
But
guy who can be
again,
wide
in
receiver.
in this style of
I'm
offense,
not
who's
looking
giving up?
for
But
a
who's?
guy.
I'm asking you a
I'm
question.
not looking
What
for
team?
a guy. I'm not
I'm asking
looking
you a
for a
question.
guy
I
who
understand what you're not looking for.
replace the side the form. That's your opinion, different from my opinion.
But
And
Jules, I'm asking
but
you a question about your
but
opinion.
you not gonna overtalk my opinion. AD, what
I'm
I'm
not
looking
over
for?
talking. I'm asking
Yes,
you a question
you
about your
talking.
opinion.
I'm like I said. I don't
I heard you the first time.
Walker doesn't move me.
But okay, I'm over Walker. We can move on from Walker. I'm asking you a question. My question is, who would be what team? First of all, what team would give up
And
their
I
wide
already asked the
receiver
question.
3?
I haven't done research on it.
Then, okay, then we having a baseless argument then.
No, ain't no basis because you asked me because you want to prove the point
Because you
that
don't have
it's
any,
not worth it.
Jules. We both been at everybody been at
If
work
I
all
do it,
day.
if I take time to do it, I will do it. I don't have time right now.
So a big name will move you.
I didn't say that. Y'all putting words in my
No,
mouth.
I'm
That y'all not
reading. I'm
listening.
reading the comment.
And I'm saying y'all putting words in my mouth. The whole conversation, I never said I wanted Harrison. I never said I wanted Wilson. I never
Just
said I
reading the
wanted any.
comment.
I didn't say I wanted Addison. I didn't say any of those big names that y'all naming. What I said was clearly a wide receiver 3 who can possibly be a 2 who can give the talent level that we were losing out on Higgins. Y'all can say whatever y'all saying, but y'all not gonna put words in my motherfucking mouth.
Not putting words in my. I'm reading the comment, brother, and
And
that's
I
why
can
I'm
read the comment,
asking you.
and I can read the comment just like you can.
Another one.
I'm looking through it. Go ahead, Clay.
Another one that people are talking about. Lance Zerline said this. Darius Slayton. I know he just signed a renewal contract, but I mean, look, what 12, 15 million per year. I don't think that's bad money. I mean, you have it. Darius Slayton, let me go back. Yeah, 6'1", 200 pounds.
Yeah,
Fifth round pick. I mean, hey,
I'm not trying to play Higgins. I promise I'm not trying to play Higgins. I'm just putting enough talent there to make better
So
situation.
there's a guy that shout out Barry, but he brought up this name in Kansas City,
Who?
Xavier Worthy.
He got drops. His drops are kind of significant. I'm a Texas guy, but his drops are significant. Is he a difference maker with the speed? Yes. Can you trust him to always catch things when you need to catch them? Yeah. I think he was overdrafted before. I think the only reason he got drafted first round pick because I think he broke the record.
well, then that's
I
the
think he's
Chiefs.
overdrafted.
And I think the Chiefs, they're not gonna help you. Like if you're
Yeah.
the Texans, they're not gonna help you.
No, but I'm saying you could possibly get him for a third.
But and that's the thing. I would look at that like I'm overpaying for a Worthy for a third. Can I get a fourth?
I mean, if the Texans do a third round pick for our third round pick, it'll be damn near fourth round pick. This is it's going to be the last pick in the third round.
I'll give them a fourth, and if they just really pushing a fourth, and then like a seventh for next year, something like that. 6 or 7 next year, call it there.
Y'all know I'm not biased to UT players. He worries me because he can't catch all the time, and
I'll give you another UT player, Jules.
and he's overrated because of his speed. Y'all can try it, Juan. Y'all really trying one, but you ain't making no punches over here, homeboy.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. There's another UT guy, Jules. Now this one is very interesting, and it ain't nobody brought it up. But what would Jordan Whittington cost to get from the Rams?
Yeah,
in the same system. Yep, I just said it, Larry. Jordan Whittington from the Rams. Reliable, talented.
Yeah.
I got him.
No, I mean, once again, but he fits y'all criteria of being cheap and placing the 4 or 5. But to me,
he's that wide receiver 3 right now. I'm going on what your criteria was. I'm literally looking up and finding.
I'm trying to smile over here because I like the UT player. You know what I'm saying? But I'm making sure that I'm keeping close to the vest of what I'm saying, so I don't just fly.
Look, you got Mooney out there.
He's not a bad player. I like him, but I like over King fastball over there.
You got Darnell Mooney out there.
That's another one. Was it Atlanta? Was it Atlanta?
I think so.
Yeah. Like I say,
the Mooney out there.
Or you could get your boy back from last year.
Ooh.
Christian Kirk.
Well, heck no.
But like I said, we're gonna put a bow on it. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Tutu ain't nothing but a less talented version of Tank Dell.
Right. We're
Look,
gonna see what happens.
look,
I
the
mean,
reality is, and Jules, I want to kind of go to your point. You said put a bow on it, then let's do that. So to your point, Jules, what do we know to be true about Nick Haley? We know that he wants to do two things. He wants to use the tight ends and he
mhm,
wants to run the football.
right.
I think that itself helps at least know that okay, we're having this conversation because we're fans. We got the time, right? We're scouring through things. But the reality is, like, their game plan would allow them to kind of not have to, like AD said, make a desperate move to just get a guy in here because their play style is not really that pass centric to begin with. We
Right.
just need a guy who can absorb some of the gravity that Higgins would have had, like, and even if we can't find a guy who's a literal wide receiver too, if we can just get a guy who's smart, who can play make, who probably has the body type, just be there in a sense, like the game plan will take care of itself and they can integrate. That's why I said a Kayshawn will probably be great because of how late in the ball game we are. We need a guy who ideally would know this kind of system or something like it. And he's one of the only dudes that you can kind of plug and play right now who's ready to go, who knows the system, cheap enough, and won't be a problem or a headache. Like that's what I'm saying. So we
Oh
don't.
no, Bute will be a headache because he thought off already. But to your point, I agree because what you're saying, I mean, is he showed in the playoffs that he can make the tough catches. That if you don't respect him enough, he can beat you, and that's what I'm looking for because I understand that the tight end situation, but also when if you're tight end situation, you put in the tight
We
ends,
just,
you're also putting too many people in the box. That's
yeah.
gonna hurt you from running the ball as you want to. So you need somebody other than Nico that can push these safeties back and push these cornerbacks and put a receiver or linebacker into coverage where they're not attacking downhill to stop the run because they don't respect your passing game.
Or you could do like what John Hickman said and just force feed Nico Collins. You give him 15 to 20 targets a game. You could do that.
No.
Or you can install a wheel route and throw it to the running backs. You could do that.
Or you could throw it to your rookie tight end who you drafted in the second round,
That
who
too.
looks pretty damn good.
That too.
I
Down the
mean, you have
seam.
different options. You got to go. You got to remember last year, it was Dalton Schultz and nothing else at tight end.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
now you have two options at tight end. At the very least, two. You have running backs that you can throw the ball to now. Are opportunities for running backs to catch the ball out of the backfield because they're not going to be relied on, i.e., freaking Woody Marks to carry the load in, running the ball. Now you can use a Woody Marks in more of a wide receiver catching the ball out of the backfield role. So you
Mm-hmm.
have that weapon.
So I'm gonna say this, and I'm done with it. Seattle was a perfect example of what this team offense looked like when they got the O line right. They got a good pairing running backs. One got hurt, but situation they had a bona fide star receiver. And during the trade deadline, they did trade for another two receiver too. So if they decide,
What?
huh?
Rashid Shaheed? Nah, bro, that he's like a wide
Three,
receiver three,
three or four.
four.
Hold on. Okay,
He's
okay.
a
But but
returner.
but but, but
I'm
hold
about
on,
to say
hold
a
on.
borderline special teamer.
But he did add some value to it. So my
Sure.
statement is, if they need to find somebody and they do roll with the situation, as you're saying, AD, and they find that they're lacking the star power or the speed or whatever they need, they can then trade line find somebody trade line. So to your point, I'm actually giving you your points. If you sometimes relax and listen.
I just didn't agree that Rashid is
But I'm saying, but he was a weapon that they traded for because they thought he could be something better in Seattle because he was a speed guy, all that situation, and
Yeah, he
he
was a
he
great
he
fit for what they needed.
and he gave a different dimension to situation to help their the number one receiver with not without getting too many receptions.
Yeah,
And back to your point, if they decide to
Mm.
roll what they roll with, then and they can find somebody just like Seattle did. That was my point. Gabe Davis has always been overrated, but
I
he
think
never
Gabe
deserved
Davis
it.
is hurt too. I think he tore something early in the year. So
only one that's a free agent that it's two of them. I think it's Sterling Shepard is
he
one.
old
Is it
though,
Sterling Shepard?
33. He
Yeah, I would
old.
say. I mean, the only two I would even glance at is Sterling Shepard. Shout out Invisible who brought him up. Sterling Shepard and freaking doggone Brandon Cooks. Those are the only two that I would even look at. And as a free agent, I'm not touching DeAndre Hopkins with a 10-foot pole. Y'all that love DeAndre Hopkins, y'all can love DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been a good receiver. Just like I said about freaking Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been a good receiver for 3 seasons now.
Right.
So, like y'all can have that, and y'all can have these reunion projects all y'all want to, but moving on from that. So going into this, we got a game tomorrow.
Well, nobody's starting. Nobody's playing.
Bro,
I
y'all
think
saw how
CJ.
quick.
I think CJ will play.
He said.
Bro,
He said all starters. I
bro,
read.
you seen how quick they shifted? Said D'Amico changed his mind. Oh, we
Well,
got enough reps against the Raiders.
I'm
We
gonna say
got
this.
enough.
I'm gonna say this. I'm going based off of Aaron Wilson, and I know.
No, you
I'm just
just
holding.
said that. You just said he ain't a good. No, see, I promise you, boy. You talking two spots, spot of your neck on
But
both
you didn't.
sides.
But hold on, Juice. You didn't let me finish my statement.
Okay, I'm let's finish there because Aaron
But
Wilson
I
said.
said it earlier, and I said you got to. I said it before when I mentioned his name. I said you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
And I'm saying it again. Like I'm not validating that Aaron Wilson is gospel,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm saying the point of like he did say even though starters won't, a lot of majority starters won't play, and I'm assuming again the majority of starters is on the defensive side.
Yes.
Defensive starters don't have to play. But I'm assuming offensively you're not gonna see a Nico, probably won't see a Dalton Schultz. But if I can get the CJ out there with the starting offensive line
That's
for a series,
Can I
yeah.
get Tank for one series? Just one.
you're not getting Tank.
Man.
You'll see Noel out there tomorrow before you see
Dang.
Tank out there tomorrow.
And
Yeah.
that was my when I read the notification about the starters not playing. That was my immediate conversation into myself is I at least want to see the potential starting five O line and the starting tight end blocking scheme for maybe one series and CJ just to see what's going on because at this point no one knows who the starting five is going to be. We have bits and pieces. We got me and AD had conversations about the rotation, how you do it. For a fan, we just want to we want to put things to bed and say, okay, I know how this team gonna look game one. We keep begging for it, we keep asking for it. Smith, once again, the Texans do what they want to do. They put Smith and Brown, and they put Orr as
Mhm.
starting one, which is rarely seen anywhere but the Texas history. So that's why I went to. I wouldn't mind seeing the starting six and CJ. I don't care what
Mhm.
receiver you put out there. I just want to see him who can be and see where we at. But we might not get that. We might get it. We'll know. But it's only gonna be for a series. It ain't gonna be much of the game.
Yeah, and I'm like you can go out there for a series. Like you
Yeah, I
can't be
really think it. I really think it.
you cannot let this freak injury like make you scared to play your players. Like at the end of the day, okay, let's say Jaden Higgins didn't get hurt at the joint practice. Let's say he got hurt in the preseason game. You know what I mean? Because the starters were gonna play, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They were gonna play all up until this news came down. So I'm like, now you're being so reactive, and I'm like, you can't bubble wrap this team and pray just to make it to week one, because hell, the way it works,
Week
9
one,
times
somebody
out of
hurt.
10, you'll bubble wrap this team and don't let anybody play. And so you go out there week one and you have about 3 injuries, and you be like, oh, wrap it up, season over with. And it, you be, come on, like you gotta be bold enough to say, you know what, I don't care. We still need to see what we need to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I could see if the Raiders were like, we not gonna play no starters and you ain't gonna get no Max Crosby, so your offense really ain't gonna get no good tests. Okay, I understand, but nah, CJ needs to play, just like Tank needs to play, because I'm gonna say it again. Tank, with this injury, Tank has to play against the Panthers. Like you're doing Tank a disservice, you're doing this team a disservice, you're doing CJ a disservice, you're doing everybody Nick Casario and D'Amico Ryans, you're doing a disservice if Tank Dell does not play against the Panthers.
Haven't you heard?
Period.
He's on his own plan. That's what they said. He's on his own
Okay.
plan.
He's on God's
Hey.
plan.
He's on his own plan.
Guys playing. Shout out Drake.
Look, at this point, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a dumb thought earlier, which AD, by the way, apparently I have a reputation. I don't know. Somehow, some way I made the group chat. I don't know. But there was like, hey man, what's up, bro? We gotta talk about these outlandish takes, but hey, welcome anyway. I'm like, what do I do? But I'm
glad you joined the group chat.
But to my point, but to my point though, I was being dumb, but in my head I said at this point they just need to just pay CJ at this point, hazard pay, because I'm like, brother, we listen, we got you sacked 55 times in 2024. You didn't have an RB1 last year. Wide receivers can't stay healthy. I mean, shoot, might as well. What QB are you going to put in this same situation that we expect greatness from? Like maybe 2 or 3, maybe Lamar, somebody mobile, Pat that can kind of do whatever. Like, nah, bro. At this point, it's all. Look, I'm getting out in front of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all going to go back to CJ, and some people are going to say, "Oh, another excuse for CJ," and all this stuff. And look, I'm on the side of things where I'm like, man, listen, bro. 2 things can be true, to quote Shannon Sharp. Yes, CJ Stroud needs to be better. He knows that. Like, I'm not going to get into, like, I'm tired of talking about what CJ Stroud needs to do. I want to acknowledge, like, this man, if he can get just a season, like Jules would say, of just competent support, not all-time elite. We don't need the 07 Pats. We don't need the greatest show on turf. We just need availability. The greatest ability is availability. And the fact that this man has not been given that, it's messed up because he's treated as one of the only guys who's not allowed to get that kind of help. He's not allowed to have his right guard / right tackle. Apparently, he can't have wide receiver 2. He can't have tight end 1, tight end 2. He can't have RB1. He can't have a veteran play caller, but he still needs to win you championships. So at this point, like, I was being dumb early, but I'm dead serious. Like, I hope CJ Stroud takes that next step. I hope he's able to finally succeed in spite of some kind of way. Even though, look, Higgins by himself being gone, the whole offense isn't sunk, but it does still fall on CJ Stroud to have to find a way to kind of compensate for that, like he always has. But in saying that, it's like, dang, man, I'm almost at the point, man, keep my quarterback name in your mouth, bro. Like I'm almost to the point because, like, bro, I'm tired of talking about what he got to do. Like, I'm sounding like Jules now. Like, we know what he has to do, but I'm sick and tired of people acting like CJ is the only quarterback who can't have help. Like, Patrick Mahomes at least had Tyreek and Travis Kelce for his Super Bowl, Hall of Fame head coach. Heck, Joe Burrow, at least Joe Burrow had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, right? Like, at least Josh Allen had Brandon Cooks. Like, these are QBs who actually had, at least Lamar had Zay Flowers, say what you will about him, but they have their guys. And our guy does not, but we want him to, turn water into wine. That it doesn't make sense. So I want to get out in front of it because I'm sick of hearing it. Like, I hope CJ Stroud does what he does. I'm confident that he will. I know Higgins alone is not the offense. It sucks, but it's like, hey, this roster is well bit, but no, call it what it is, bro. If you're not going to be genuine about what you're saying, analysis wise, don't talk about it. Like, just don't talk about it. Like, acknowledge what's happening, then all right, cool. But if you get from this whole thing, oh no, this is another CJ excuse, then hey, bro, I'm not trying to hear you. I'm not.
Like, the goal is always to put the best talent around your quarterback. And I think people get in the Tom Brady mode of it all. Lamar Jackson is a prime example. Baltimore fans have been wanting to get rid of ownership for the disservice that they've done to Lamar Jackson by not providing him adequate weapons at wide receiver. They've given him a tight end in Mark Andrews for multiple years. They found a second tight end in Isaiah Likely, and then as soon as he's done with his rookie contract, he gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing that they've ever done for Lamar Jackson is a Zay Flowers. his whole tenure, and he's been in Baltimore a decade now, almost a decade. And the most they've given him at wide receiver is a Zay Flowers. Although Zay Flowers is a good wide receiver, they've never provided Lamar Jackson with any kind of talent. And that has been the consistent argument when it comes to these quarterbacks, especially like Lamar Jackson, that he hasn't had the talent. Yes, Patrick Mahomes has done more with less, but let us not forget that he has always had a Hall of Fame tight end
I'm
in
about to
Travis Kelce.
say he kept a Hall of Famer on him. This man was
Yeah,
drafted into a playoff team. Like that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying is like, dang, like just let the man just have some help. That's all, bro. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna be loud about his faults, be loud about the reasons that are like why he's been handicapped. On top of everything else, back-to-back rookie OCs, a defensive-minded head coach, a good head coach, but he cannot give you the kind of nuances that you want. Like CJ Stroud has pulled the short end of the stick since he's been here, right? Like to Jules's point, the defense has gotten poured into like ad nauseum. The offense is like, okay,
I mean,
cool.
they have. They. I don't want to say that they haven't. They have. It just hasn't. You just had the worst luck because you don't have a mastermind on the defensive side that can scout players. I've said it before on the podcast. Like Nick Casario, I think that he has an eye for defensive talent.
Premium.
Even going back to New England, but he's never been able to kind of pick up when it comes to offensive talent.
What's the
Like
fact
even in New England,
this man
they've
signed
drafted,
Jake Andrews
but
off
no,
a
no,
torn
no.
meniscus.
So again, that comes from allocating resources. Like outside of Jake Andrews, like yes, you signed Jake Andrews, but what other centers were you going to get in that offseason that you were going to that were going to be viable? You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
you're trying to fit somebody in a system a certain way, and you're trying to get a certain mentality of a player. Again, I know the offensive line is taking a lot of hits, but let us not forget that this franchise has spent multiple first round picks on offensive linemen. This franchise has spent multiple second round picks on offensive linemen. And like Jules said earlier in the podcast, it's not for a lack of effort. They went and they go get a Christian Kirk. They went and they go get a Stephon Diggs. They every year they go and get pieces on the offensive side of the football to complement and help. But unfortunately, injuries happen. And things you just had. I just feel like on the offensive side of the football, the Texans have had horrible luck. Horrible luck. Um, so I mean, do you want to just keep going and keep going and keep going? Like it doesn't. When you say they pour resources into the defense, I just think they know what they're doing when they go to draft a defensive player. When you go get a freaking Kamari Lassiter, everybody wasn't all on board with that pick. But you know what the consensus was when we drafted Kamari Lassiter? Let's just sit back and see what D'Amico is going to do with him. And you know what D'Amico did with him? He's made him a borderline Pro Bowl and going to be one of the highest paid corners in a few years. That's what
Yes.
D'Amico made Kamari Lassiter, right?
Well,
Caleb Bullock.
yeah, I'm almost say one thing, Port. It's also that the defensive coaches are damn good coaches. I think two of them are going to be defense coordinators once Burt goes. One's going to be here, be elevated here. One's going to probably go somewhere else. You can't say on the other side of the office that you had hella five coaches on either side of the ball. Popovich has shown the last year and a half that he's a good coach. And other than that, the wide receiver coaches, you'll never hear anybody saying, "Oh man, we're interviewing the offensive coaches to be Texas offensive coaches to be a step up." All you hear is the defense, and it comes from Nico, and it comes from Nico, but them other guys are actually working just as hard as D'Amico Ryans, and that's why the resources that you're pouring on the defense is showing out because the talent player because they're trying to put the resources in both offense and defense. It's just that you have nobody on the offensive side that actually is worth a damn coaching wise. That's
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, again, that goes back to that's a knock on D'Amico. That is
Yeah.
a D'Amico fault, but as anybody that knows, that comes with the territory of you having a defensive head football coach.
Correct.
And that's because you can go the same on the offensive side. You see it a lot of times that offensive coaches have great offenses and their offenses are humming, and they struggle on defense until they're pushed against a wall and forced to go and hire the best defensive coordinator that you can possibly find on the market or whatever, right? We've seen it with Sean Payton. We've seen it with freaking Gary Kubiak. Look how long we had to deal with Frank Bush, Jules. Clay, the only thing you remember Frank Bush and how terrible Frank Bush was as a defensive coordinator. He was terrible.
And as great as Sean Payton is, and as great as I think Sean Payton's overrated. This is me personally. My thought about Sean Payton.
A little bit.
As great as everybody think he is and assume he is, he didn't win anything until Bounty Gate. And what he do? He got a bona fide defensive guru who's had a great defense everywhere he gone to help win. But as soon as Greg Williams got gone, he went back to let me pour everything in my offense and hope it works out. So that's Eddie's point, exactly right.
Right then, and like I said, it works both sides of the football. You don't have many teams that are super complete. I mean, you look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid has attached to the hip with what's the DC's name?
Steve Spagnuolo.
Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah. The fact that
he got fired.
He got fired from the Giants. He was a head coach and he got fired. And they have been attached at the hip ever since, right? Again, like I said, I think that's just the nature of the business. We go back, you can even go back to Brian Flores. When he became the head coach of the Dolphins, like they had a hell of a defense, but you couldn't find a coordinator to coach the offense to save his life.
Yeah, and
Richard Smith was bad too, Killer Cal.
And Garrett didn't win until
he got Wade Phillips.
We got Wade Phillips, and it was pretty much Peyton's team.
Hold on, you talking about Gary and
Denver. Yep.
I'm talking about Gary in Houston, but yeah, Gary in Houston didn't win until he got Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips, that's right.
And then he didn't win again until we brought Wade with him. He brought Wade with him to Denver. So, because they won Gary Kubiak's first year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, because that was the second year. But I have our debate between people, Denver Broncos for the best situation. The reason why Denver lost the year before and John Fox got fired because defensive players were all hurt. Because that Peyton Manning's offense that he threw for over 50 touchdowns was a juggernaut offensively. The defense couldn't hold up to it. So they fired John Fox for because not having his healthy players, and they brought in Gary Kubiak and Wade Phillips, and they won. They didn't change much of this offense system, and I think John Fox ran a 3-4, so all he did was bring DeMarcus Ware from Dallas, and that's what made it.
Well, to add to that, they also did spring on, I think, Aqib Talib, Christian Harris too. So I remember that offseason. They spent a lot of money on the defense. So it wasn't just Wade Smith.
Not Christian Harris. You're talking about
it was Chris Harris.
Harris was his last name.
Yeah, Chris Harris.
Chris Harris, not Christian.
It was the cornerback.
So Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, DeMarcus Ware. So to add to Jules' point, Denver recognized we have a historic offense. We need to just go ahead and slide our chips to the table and just, at least for one season, just, hey, boom. And they got a Super Bowl, right? And look, the Rams did it too, unapologetically. They had the recent Rams team that beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. They had the defense. They just need the offense. What they do? Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford. Then they went back and got Von Miller, right? Look at him now.
And Jalen
Ramsey, right? Look at him now. They got Aaron Donald coming in for multiple workouts. They got Myles Garrett. This is what Jules and others are kind of saying, which is no, we're not saying mortgage your future, but there is a time where you're like, hey, man, listen, we trying to win. And there is no tomorrow to a certain degree, right? We're going to be responsible. But like you got a finite window in the NFL, especially with defenses. They only last about at this level, maybe 2 to 3 years tops. And you got one. All you got to do is get one season of a proficient enough offense, not even top 5. If you can do something like that, you're good, right? Just like Denver did, just like so many teams before them. Like you're very close. You just can't go cheap at the wrong time, and that's just kind of.
Just to piggyback on that, like we talking about, and we can wrap up after this. When you're talking about getting a like making a trade, the value, I would say, because right now, like I said earlier, the league feels the Texans are the league felt the Texans were desperate for a wide receiver before Higgins got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams, a lot of GMs felt the Texans didn't have enough at the wide receiver position before Higgins got hurt. So the NFL already feels that the Texans are going to be desperate to go get a guy. So the price is you already gonna have to pay the Texans tax for whoever you bring in, and you preferably would want to bring in somebody that knows the system, right? So again, do you make a move? I feel like the Texans make a move before the season, but if they so happen to not make a move, the price differential between what it is right now and what it would be before the trade deadline, I don't think would be drastically different. I think that if you were going to pay a 4th round pick for a guy right now, you're going to have to pay a 3rd round pick. Right? I don't think it would jump from you having to pay from a 4th round pick to like a 2nd.
Right.
So the difference is, like you said, Clayton, would it cost you some game? I don't think it costs you games like that. To me, our defense is too good. Our defense is too good we've won games all year last year with the offense doing nothing. Right? To right now, I feel like the defense we start off with 4 games. Who we played first 4 games? The Bills,
Bengals, Colts,
Dallas,
and Dallas.
Yeah,
that's your first 4 games. All intents and purposes, if the offense isn't clicking on full cylinder, all cylinders or whatever the phrase is, I still think you can win 3 and that's just me being as super realistic. I think we still go undefeated in those 4 games because the Bills can't win in Houston, and the Bengals. I watched the Bengals in that preseason game.
I think their defense is still horrendous.
Like it's horrendous.
It's gonna be hard to turn that around in one off season. So I think
right.
2-2 you're concerned. 3-1 you're like, all right, but 4-0 realistically you're like you should.
Yeah, that's where you should be. It's 4-0. Even though Dallas is going to be a much improved team, Dallas will be the litmus test when it comes to
offense versus defense.
Offense and defense. That would be the litmus test, because if you struggle and let's say you lose that Dallas game, that may trigger a trade for a wide receiver. If you don't make one before the season starts. So again, like I said, we good with it.
I don't know if we didn't make Deontay Johnson work here. I don't know if George Pickens is going.
I'm going to bet on that one. I'm going to bet on that one.
But no, look, again, I appreciate everybody. Y'all be on the lookout for the Discord. We will be on Discord watching the game tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all join the H-Time Rundown Discord. We will figure out a plan on the All-22. And we will go from there. But appreciate everybody, watching us live. I'm glad we didn't, exhaust y'all, because there's somebody else going live and they've been going live for almost 2.5 hours now. So you already know who it is because I'm out. But y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all. Get off, Brandon. Get off.
Right. Right.
We'll see y'all when we see y'all, man. But yeah, make sure y'all join the Discord and you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast on all platforms. And we will see y'all on the next episode, man. Peace.
Good night.